check it. So, you know you have to flip it.
I mean, it's good like that.
Face
Yeah,
it.
it's facing.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
The only thing is, it's not grabbing from this, but I think it should be all right.
Yeah, as long as you don't shake. Okay, good.
Good.
If it was live, it would have alerted us, right? So it's a listing. I just want to make sure I'm on the list.
What channel is it, are you on?
Apostles Live with GMS.
Okay, wait a minute.
I just want to make sure I'm not. No, I don't see it there, so. Okay. So it should be good.
Yeah, you good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the channel? Apostles Live?
That's it, yeah.
I'm not, I got it on the Apostles Live, it says New World Order.
Yeah, so we're good.
Okay, so you're good, Right, I forgot, it's not live. Okay, all right, so, y'all can open it up.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, open it up.
All right,
Okay.
all praises and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Hashem Rakah. We're in the Day of Atonement right now. You know, like we do every year, this is our Day of Atonement service. Hopefully it's edifying for you brothers and you sisters that watch these videos. So I don't really have anything on mind right now.
Okay, well, what I'm gonna do is I'm on a comment board, and I'm gonna read a comment, and we can tackle it. And I will also wanna go into the subject of, what we covered, this sex on the Sabbath thing.
Yeah.
If somebody don't get that, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to go into,
Good.
what is it, well, yeah, we do have to go into that, sex on the Sabbath, which you
Yeah.
covered it. But I wanted to go into something else, Dan.
The comments?
Yeah, there's one comment I got, but there was something that I wanted to say. Oh, we'll just go into this comment,
Yeah, well, you know,
I'm sorry, the manhood, when are you supposed to start partaking with the Day of Atonement? Because I made a comment on, the elder, what's his name, not Zach Bob. And I said, he said, yeah, you got to wait, your kids gonna get hungry. So I put a comment up, and, the comment said, you know, if you have children that are under 12, they don't have to partake of it. So we might want to go into a couple of precepts on that. I did hit one precept. I didn't read it, I just quoted it. Luke 2, around about the 40th verse, 42nd verse, about the Lord telling his mother, don't you know, must be about my father's business. And it said he was 12 years old. So why did he disappear from his parents when he was 11 and 10 or 8? Because the year of accountability to be up under the law, fully up under the law, is at the age of 12. You know?
Yeah, because they said that they went every year to do that, every year.
Yeah, so he went at the age of 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. And in the year that he turned 12, he disappeared. And his mother cursed him out, and he basically cursed her out and said, look, I'm about my father's business. Why did he say that? Because he was telling his parents that I'm no longer under you.
Right.
You know? I'm under the Heavenly Father now. But then he wound up going back with the parents anyway, and he stayed with them through the Spirit. So, you know, you're not fully under the law until you're 12 years old. All right? Now you got Sakari talking about, you know, a man becomes a man when he's 20. And every time even Assad said that, shalom to you anyway, Assad. You said anybody that's under 20 years old is a little one. That don't make no goddamn sense. You know?
These guys don't understand the history.
They don't understand the scriptures. They do understand the scriptures, but they don't fully understand it. So that means at the age of 19, you can pretty much do whatever you don't gotta keep, hold up. From the age of 1 to the age of 19, you don't gotta keep none of the high holy days if you're not under the you're not under the covenant.
So why does it say teach your children and their children and so on and so forth?
So you can still beat your sons at 19? Man, you wind up getting your ass kicked by your own son. You know?
It helps to know.
And I know people, I know dudes I grew up with whose father.
Okay, we're back.
Did we lose anything?
I don't know. I really don't know. We'd have to probably go back over it again. I don't know.
Just keep your eyes open.
Yeah,
You can still talk.
you gotta flip it. Around. Or you can either or. Keep it up. You.
No. There we go.
You want Casey report?
Yep.
Okay, let's hope they got everything. You ain't picked it up. Let's hope so. And that's just becoming close to this thing, right? See, now the spiritual demons are messing with us.
Yep.
And the technical demons.
Yep.
So I looked up the word maid, the little maid. And let's go to. See, this is the real theological seminary of vocab.
The
We
real,
should be
right?
paying us money to come watch. You should start sending some checks. Check this out. It says, well, hold on, let me get the Greek.
Charles G. 316. Nice.
Ice. And anyway, it says, listen up. A child, boy or girl, meaning prepubescent. Infant. So we're talking about a maid is anyone from a newborn baby up until a girl that's like 10 or 11 years old. And if she's 12 and 13, she's still considered a maid because she's becoming a woman. You understand?
You understand?
It says, it says a child, boy or girl, infants, children, servant, slave, because they have children, slave, and attendant, servant, spec, a king's attendant, minister. So these were children, because he had children slaves, right?
Yeah.
You had that in Esau slavery. You're going to pay for that too.
I got something to back you up.
All right, go ahead.
This is from the book of Jeremiah 1:6. It says, well, let me read the 5th verse so it makes sense. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, this is Jeremiah speaking, right? Oh, Lord power, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. Now I looked up that word child in the Hebrew. It's na'ar, and it says a boy, lad, servant, like you were saying.
The same for the Greek.
Yeah.
A boy servant or a boy or a child.
Yeah. And lad, which I believe the Hebrew word for boy is yalad.
Yep.
That's where you get the word lad from. They still say that over there in England, right? Lad, servant, youth, retainer. Isn't a retainer like a slave, like a servant?
Yeah, slave. Yep.
Yeah. So that's the definition they have here.
Jeremiah 51 verse 22. Let's see what that says. With thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, meaning grown-up men, adult women, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. Let's look at the word maid.
You want me to look it up or you?
No, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay.
Maid. What do you think? What word do you think will come with the Hebrew?
Bathwater?
Yep, that's exactly right. Bathwater. And the word means simply a virgin. A woman that has not been touched Let me read this. Waswala, feminine, passive, participle, second word, I can read that, of an unused root meaning to separate a virgin from her privacy, sometimes by continuation, excuse me, a bride, that's a, may means a young woman, it also means a young woman that has not been touched,
Right.
all right? Also figuratively, a city or state made virgin,
Like the maid voyage,
the maiden voyage.
maiden voyage, yeah. Yeah, it's the first voyage.
Now, in the case of, what is that, Isaiah 7,
I was just thinking about Jeremiah, he wasn't even a man yet.
it was pre-pubescent.
Yeah. He was selected for the ministry.
Okay, here it is. Isaiah 7, verse 14. Therefore, Yahweh himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin. Now, when we put on that word virgin, the word there is not baswala. All right?
Got it.
The word there is ayalama, which ayalama means young in a masculine sense, and ayalama is young in a feminine sense. So this woman could be a woman that had a couple of children and she still could be called a virgin. So this is what you Christians don't understand. It said, behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Amnam. Loosely translated, God is with us, right? So when you look at the word virgin right here. Bear me for a minute. Virgin is Ayalama or Ayalama. You can say it two different ways. Young woman of marriageable age, maid or newly married. Newly married meaning, if she was newly married, that means that active sex had to take place, right?
Got
Let me look up the word conceive.
it. Yeah, because when you look in the Sound of his Bible Dictionary under marriage, it said it's consummated by constant sexual intercourse.
Yeah, because if you got papers on a woman and you haven't consummated it, that's not your wife.
Right.
That's you're engaged to that woman, but you can still be put to death because she was already taken for another man.
That's right. Yep.
And a lot of Jakes was put to death.
She was a spouse.
She was a spouse. Conceive, shall conceive. Let's look that up.
Yeah, spouse, another word for that is esposada, which means husband. I think in Spanish, right?
Esposo is husband.
Esposo, yeah.
Or either spouse.
Esposa is
Esposada.
wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's promised to this man. So pretty much he's her husband. All he gotta do is consummate the marriage after the parent, the father gives the consent.
I know also in Italian for husband is marito.
Yep, marido in Spanish.
Yeah, so marito means married. How they married, joined together by active sex.
Right.
Now
Sex.
check this out, I'm sorry.
No,
Check
that's
this
all
out. Isaiah 7 verse 14, it says that, first speaks about the sign, I'm sure you're a virgin, and it says she will conceive, right? Is that acting up again?
No, I'm just looking at make sure it's level.
Okay,
Just looks a little.
so I looked up the word conceive, right?
Gone.
The word conceive simply means pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
wait a minute, so for all you Christians out there,
Look at
you mean the Lord was born
that.
and Joseph didn't have sex with Mary? It says she conceived.
Conceive.
Then that's not the real Mary. 2,000 years ago or more. If that's not the real Mary, then that's not the real Lord.
Yeah.
You know?
The other Jesus.
And then the supposed entity that impregnated Mary, what line did it come from?
Woo!
It came from Judah. Are you taking notes, vocab?
I must be allowed to read. I looked at the word.
I mean, we know all this. Okay, we're acting like we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we're good actors. But we know all this. We're trying to help you.
Yeah.
Trying to help you, son.
Trying to help a damn fool. Go ahead.
I looked up in the Atonement online, the word conceive, late 13th century, conceiven, take seed into the womb.
That's
Oh my goodness.
can't top that.
Become pregnant.
Now, from what scripture is that conceived? That's in
Isaiah 7:14.
So take seed in the womb.
And then you go to Luke 2nd chapter, it said that she had to go through the law of purification.
Yeah.
And in Leviticus 12, it says that if a woman hath conceived seed,
she shall be unclean.
she shall be unclean.
If it's a male child, 40 days.
Yeah.
If it's a female child, 80 days.
It's
but
about
then they'll tell
conception.
you, the Most High just put the seed in her womb.
No.
You know, how did the seed get in her womb?
Right.
In the act of sex.
Well, whoever put the seed in her womb, whether it be an angel or anybody, the angel's going to be put to death.
Yeah.
Because she was a spouse.
Woo.
She was a spouse to Joseph.
That's right.
Yeah.
So whoever got her pregnant, if it wasn't Joseph, who was it?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What, the wisdom of Solomon?
That's why you got to close up shop, the Christians, man.
Yeah.
You got to close up shop.
Yeah.
And the worst thing you can do is come around Israelites such as ourselves,
Oh
the
yeah.
GMS kind, because you won't get fucked up.
Oh yeah. Spiritually, yeah. I was just thinking about wisdom of Solomon, the 7th chapter. And he say he came with the pleasure of sleep.
Yep.
So that's sex. There it is right there. Wisdom of Solomon 7:1. I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth. And in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh at the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood, of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. Because they got a whole saying, yeah, the best part of children is making them. How do you make children? A man or boy, by the act of sex. So we just read there, it says, and the pleasure that came with sleep, having sex. Sex is a pleasure. Yeah, but at the same time, it's a pleasure. It's also necessary.
That is got it crazy.
Huh?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Sex is not pleasure. What the fuck is it? Are you afflicting your soul? These guys, you got a lot of dumb, hey,
Stupid.
gotta get out this simple stick today.
The Lord wasn't kidding when he said, Jeremiah 4:22, for my people are sottish children. Sottish means stupid.
Jake is stupid.
Stupid.
Jake is damn stupid.
Stupid. That's all it is.
I got one for you, Pastor Toy. This is Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going.
You got a lot of people that are not prudent.
Not true.
Point blank period.
Matter of fact, I could add to that one.
I got some.
Oh, you got
No, you got it. You got it already.
Isaiah 42. If I could read that. Isaiah 42, 19. It says, I'll start at 18. It says, hear ye deaf, and look, ye blind, that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not.
That's them dumb. They can't get it. Either your eyes are open or your eyes are closed.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't no in between.
That's right. Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not.
Yeah.
So you can't, man.
Both sides. Did a thing on you, Jake.
And you know, brother's been saying that because I guess they see that in the spirit. That's why the Bible is so repetitious. Because Jake is so hard-headed, man. You gotta keep repeating over and over and over.
Just like the law.
Yep, I got a precept.
Uh,
Psalms 19:7. The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahweh is sure, making wise the simple.
Yeah, so any Israelite that's saying you can have sex on the Sabbath, that guy is simple. Yeah, they say, or we dare say stupid. You're stupid, man. You're just stupid, all right? Not gonna be PC anymore. You're just stupid. We can prove it.
I got another precept. Psalms 119, verse 130. The entrance of thy words giveth light. What do you need light for? So you can see, right? It giveth understanding unto the simple. So if you can't get this understanding, you are going to remain in the realm of simplicity. That's a topic right there.
The realm of simplicity.
Yeah, me and Apostle Rama was discussing that earlier. Now, when you have sex, you're unclean. Now, the Lord said concerning the Sabbath day, you're supposed to keep it holy.
Right.
Yeah, keep it clean. Holy means clean.
This is the book of Exodus 19:14 and 15. It says, and Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people. And they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not at your wives.
Right.
You can take it.
Yeah, and then you had, what is that? With King David. I believe that was 1 Samuel. I gotta find it. But King David went to the priest, you know, and he was asking if they had any bread there, you know, for him and for the men that were with him. And he said, we only have the true bread, you know, the sanctified bread. He said, have the men at least kept themselves from women? King David said, yeah, these 3 days have we been kept from women. The young men's vessels are holy, you know, because when you have sex, you're unclean unto the evening. You know, the man and the woman.
When you copulate,
that's right.
Yeah.
You unclean until the evening.
Right.
Yeah, which is why Mary had to keep the law of purification, because she received seed through sex.
Yeah.
These guys are just, like you said, they're just stupid.
I got another precept. Proverbs 1, we started at 1. The key point is in the fourth, and we started at the top. The proverb of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to receive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, and judgment, and equity. And a lot of times we have situations, right, where the brothers come out, oh, this happened, and he said this, and then comes to us, what do? We don't have no call. Look, everybody got to hop on planes, we got to call major council. No, we just judge a matter. Look, blah, 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 he's suspended, or, you know, this, that, and third.
Yeah.
You know, and that's it. Move on, man.
That's it.
You know?
You guys like to make stuff all complicated.
Well, see, because they're simple, man. They're fucking simple. These guys can't get it.
Yeah.
You know, this ain't no movie, man. This is the real deal,
It's
man.
a real deal.
Yeah.
This is a real deal, man.
Also,
You know, lights, camera, action, nigga.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
also,
That's why Jethro, if somebody wants to get
I was just thinking about that.
that's why Jethro said what he said. Why did Mosai hook up Moses with a Zipporah?
Right.
Why did the Mosai? It doesn't tell you why, but why did the Mosai hook him up with Zipporah?
right.
I'm asking y'all.
To meet Jethro.
Jethro to
Why is he Jethro?
for the counselors.
To train him how
To counsel him, man.
Yeah, train him.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I know y'all know, but I got to.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Nah, it keeps you sharp.
Keeps it sharp.
Exactly.
That's right.
Because what did Moses when Jethro counseled him, right?
Yeah.
When they were going back and forth in their discourse, in the conversation, he was asking them, well, what do you do with the people?
Right.
Because he saw millions of people, man.
He actually watched Moses deal with each person all day.
Exactly, and then Moses said that, I
Yeah.
would sit there all day,
Yep.
and people come with their questions and their
Yep.
problems, and I answer them
Yep.
from the morning to the night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We have
It's
to
good.
back.
And what was I saying?
Jethro.
Yeah, with the masses, you gotta understand, this was Moses, one man,
Right.
all right? That didn't have any experience in leading people, all right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, how can you say that to her? How can you say that Moses didn't know how to lead people? Because I just said it. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't know how to delegate
He
authority.
didn't know how to lead people, man. Okay? You know, you gotta say it with.
With conviction, yeah.
So Jethro the Most High put Jethro in
In
the
his
picture.
life, yeah.
Because why? Because Jethro knew how to lead people.
Yeah.
All right?
He was a leader.
He was a leader.
Yeah.
So true leadership is what? Making smaller leaders, let them deal with it, man.
Yeah, delegating authority.
Look, you got a problem in Texas. We ain't gonna hop on it. We gotta hop on a plane. We gotta have a council.
Right.
Cause this brother looked at this brother funny. All right?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Delegating authority. Like you
Delegate
said.
authority.
Yeah.
That's why you have leaders. You have leaders, man. You
Yeah.
have many leaders. Anyway, he told them what? If you got the precept, you can read it. On Jethro.
I got it.
If you want to bring it out.
I got the one where he set up.
One says captains of tens.
I got that one. Yep.
So read that. You gotta go over a couple of verses though.
Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 1.
So if any of you guys are put in a leadership position, you better lead. You better lead, man.
All right. This is Deuteronomy 1 and 9. It says, "And I spake unto you at the time, saying, I am not able to bear you myself alone. The Lord your power hath multiplied you, and behold, you are this day as the stars of heaven for multitude. The Lord power of your fathers make you 1,000 times so many more as you are, and bless you as he hath promised you. How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? Take you wise men and understanding and known among the tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And he answered me and said, The thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. So I took the chief of your tribes, wise men, and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds, and captains over 50s, and captains over 10s, and officers among your tribes. And I charged your judges at that time, saying, Hear the causes between your brethren, and judge righteously between every man and his brother, and the stranger that is with him. You shall not respect persons in judgment, but you shall hear the small as well as the great. You shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is the Most High's, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. And I commanded you at that time that all things which you should do." And that's pretty much it.
There's
There's another account where he went with Jeff.
where he said that I judge the people from the morning to the night.
God, let me see
He said
what
this is not good. If you put in the word small matters,
small matters.
I'm gonna check it.
Still recording?
Yep.
As you look at it, I'm gonna look as well.
Small matters?
Something like that.
Yeah,
Exodus 18 and
So
13.
go ahead and read that. Go
All
ahead
right.
and read that.
Let me see if I can start up a little more there. Oh, wow. I'll start at 12. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for the Most High. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moses' father-in-law before the Most High. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moses sat to judge the people. And the people stood by Moses from the morning unto the evening. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto evening? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of the Most High and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away both you and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice, I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to the Most High word, that thou mayest bring the causes unto the Most High. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear the Most High, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them.
In other words, you don't put no nigga in a leadership position.
That's right. To be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens, and let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Like Yahweh said, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray the Lord of the harvest that he send forth laborers into his vineyard.
So let's deal with the vineyard. So we're switching gears. Let's deal with the vineyard. Let's start off with Luke 10 and 1.
Okay.
This is not the Mickey Mouse Club. All right? This is not, you got season tickets to the Great Adventures, and you miss a couple of times, you miss a year or two. Once you get into this thing, you in it, man. Ain't no bullshit, ain't no lollygagging. The Most High accept nothing less than diligence. You know? You got guys out here, we call them hangout Israelites. They come around every once in a while, they got the salute down pat. They know a little Hebrew, they know some precepts, but then they disappear. The Most High don't need people like you, man.
That's a hustle, yeah.
That's a time for you, The Most High don't need people like you, man. So what? Oh, go ahead. Keep speaking, man.
Okay. You said you wanted Luke 10 and 1, correct, Apostle?
Luke 10 and 1. Start
Okay.
at the top.
Luke chapter 10, verse 1. After these things, Apostle, can I turn the light on?
Sure.
It says, after these things, the Lord appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place whither he himself would come. Because pretty much what that was, they were preparing the way for the Lord to come, setting everything up.
Oh, he's delegating authority right there.
That's it. Because he sent them 2 and 2. You notice he didn't do the work himself.
Yeah.
He had men to help him.
Right. Delegating authority, like we were talking about earlier.
Yep. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into the harvest. Because this vineyard, which represents the whole house of Israel, which, Lord's will, we're going to get that in Isaiah, it's great. It's a great labor. But the men that are laboring are few. So if you have, let's say you have 20 workers, and those 20 workers can deal with a bunch of work. If 5 of those guys are sitting on their ass, that puts more strain on the other 15. So it is more burden on them. If the other 5 would get off their duff and help, then it would lighten the load a little more.
Yeah, if you notice, if you go to McDonald's, I pick up, do a lot of pickups.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember years ago, it was nothing but Jacob in there, mostly. They ain't hiring Jake no more.
No.
You know who they hired? Them Latin tribes.
Con.
Them Latin, they don't hire, no, you don't see you, unless you go to like a neighborhood of Jake. If you go deep in the hood, you have, Jake working in the back. But that place looked like a it looks like a fucking warehouse, man.
Jungle.
There's shit all on the floor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Garbage overflow.
Yep.
You know, I can take you to one McDonald's right now. It's deep in the hood.
Yeah.
That place, you gotta dodge shit. Shootouts take place down there. These ain't having that. They said, you know what? They sat down. They said, what's our problem? Well, how are we gonna fix this situation right here? Now, you know they ain't gonna use the N-word,
Yeah.
but they use code.
Yeah.
They said, our problem is we have to get
Rid of.
a certain type of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Certain
And
element.
they was all on the same page.
Yeah.
It was all on the same page. And they mind,
Yeah.
the niggas gotta get the niggas out of here, man.
Yeah.
Get them Latin tribes.
Out of the deep in the hood, Mickey D.
These here, yeah. But I can show you, I can tell, man, I can take you to McDonald's with nothing but Israelites and Ecuadorians, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know? You ain't gonna see Jake no more up in there. You know?
That's right.
Well, when you go to on those McDonald's on the highway, it's all the Latin tribes.
Oh, no, they don't have them niggas going up in
Does they
there.
work?
Are you crazy?
Con.
They can't afford it. You might get shot in the head. We can't afford that.
Yeah, you mentioned that word laborers.
Con.
I got a precept for you. 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter, beginning at the 8th verse. These are the words of the Apostle Paul to the Israelites in Corinth. He said, now he that planteth and he that watereth are one, and every man shall receive his own reward according to his own labor.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out here. If I'm the planter and the next guy's the waterer, let's say I plant the seed. This guy's with his girlfriend. You know?
Yep.
So I did my job and I go home. I come back and the boss man is getting on me.
Right.
Well, ain't shit wrong.
Right.
And I said, well, I put the seed down.
Right.
So what about the water guy? I said, oh, I don't know, you gotta ask him.
Right.
And when you go ask the water guy, he'll tell you that he watered it. Then why is the shit dry? Huh?
Right.
See, we gotta get really tight with people like that. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, when the Most High appointed a certain amount of people to push his word out, when somebody hold Matthew 22, to put this word out, you got a job. You got to keep your job. You can't be laying in the back,
Right.
up in the back of the fucking warehouse, in between some boxes. I know about that because I used to do that myself. Me and my boys used to sleep.
That was back in the day.
That was back in the day.
Yeah.
And I was a Negro.
Hey, well, you know, like what I noticed, I went to this restaurant to get a bite to eat the other day, and I'm sitting there. It's taking a while. You know, I'm getting, you know, antsy, little antsy, little aggressive. No, but then I saw the waitress, and she was like the only one there. You had the lady that the greeter. She sat you down, and the waitress was taking orders. She was getting the food. She was getting the drinks. She was making drinks. The bar was empty. There was nobody there. So she was doing all of that work for the same amount of money because there wasn't enough people to work there. So I attributed that to, you know, laborers in the vineyard not having enough laborers to carry that load of work. You know?
And there's more unlaborers than there are laborers.
Yeah.
These guys are just standing around, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, well, I was
Then
thinking
you
about
have to be a skilled labor.
Yeah.
You ain't just labor, like
You know,
you can do the
true.
job.
That's true.
You
That's
can do
true.
the job, right? But if you ain't doing the job right, that's
Because
worse than not doing the job at all. Because now the next guy got to come behind you and fix all the bullshit.
So that's double the work.
Yeah, that's double the work.
hey, I was thinking about this the other day, how you got a couple of brothers right now that their bodies are so messed up that they're so sick, but they want to be out there. They want to do the work.
Yeah.
And then you have able-bodied guys that have no ailment, no
Dragging their
sickness,
feet.
nothing,
They
and they're not
dragging
doing
Because
nothing.
of niggas.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Dragging their feet.
You know, and it's like damn, that's amazing. These two brothers they down. It might, as I know there's others,
Yeah.
They're down, they
And
can't
there's
even.
brothers that are sickly, man,
Yeah,
that when they can get out, they're coming right to the camp.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or if they're home, they can't get out, they're
Yeah.
doing videos
yeah.
on the comment section.
You got a brother right now doing videos in the hospital,
What's up with the rest of you motherfuckers, man?
That makes
Huh?
it bad.
you know? You
And how
got,
long does it take for you to be a guy that's willing to go out there and speak, man? You know? I mean, last week we had, what, about 25, 30 guys out there in the audience. Not knocking every one of y'all,
Yeah.
but some of y'all are full of shit.
Yeah. Be out there doing the work.
You know, there's some that come from another camp, there's some that are fairly new, and that's understandable.
right,
Yeah.
But after a certain amount of time, man, you gotta put in work.
Yeah.
Hey,
work out your own salvation.
work out your own salvation. People
Yeah,
think they're gonna get saved because they know the prophets.
Nah,
You know?
We keep telling these guys we can't save you.
we can't save ourselves.
We're trying to save why do you think we're so diligent? Because we're trying to save ourselves through our works. Diligence.
I got a precept.
Come.
Yep.
Luke, you're gonna like this one.
Mm.
Luke 3 verse 7. And say this is John, all right?
Mm.
Oh, by the way, John is a man of the Lord.
Right, and he didn't
The
fall out the
Spirit
truth.
was on him and he didn't fall out the truth.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
John was so special that even the Lord said, among women, there was no one born greater than John. So if he fell out the truth, why would the Lord praise this guy?
Right.
That's the same
You
group.
know?
Yeah, that's the same group that tells you you can have sex on the Sabbath. By the way.
We're not going to mention no names.
Nope.
We don't want to start no trouble. Who knows I got? Well, we read about y'all right now.
Come.
Luke 3 verse 7. Then said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of him. Now you got to understand.
Software business.
Yeah, so like it was.
Yeah, you got to understand that John was out there baptizing the people, right? And there was people that were coming up that he said, look at these niggas, you know? Look at these motherfuckers. There was some that were good, you know.
Yeah.
They came, but there was guys that, you know,
Yeah.
like, we used to that shit, man.
Yeah.
Because we baptized hey brother, when you teach, you're really baptizing through the word.
The
You
water,
know?
yeah, that's the water.
So you can see that John the Baptist look on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generational.
Didn't I baptize your ass, black ass last week?
Some of them dudes that look right.
Hey, I know, well, he's gonna say it. And see, hey, our Lord was an austere man. John the Baptist,
So
he was austere to the 10th power.
Oh yeah,
He was a ruffian, man.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But you gotta understand one thing. The man, pursuant to IUIC, will be considered a bum.
Right.
Yeah.
He was living in the woods.
Yep.
Yep.
Eating locusts.
He was homeless.
He was eating locusts.
Eating locusts.
Many of the Israelites said he had a devil.
Yeah, that's it.
Because of the way he was, they said this guy's
The way
got to
he
be
dressed, he
possessed with the devil.
didn't have those spanky French uniform on.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's why Yahweh said they that wear soft raiment are in king's
King
houses.
said, that was it.
Palaces or something.
What went ye out to see?
Right.
Matter of fact, get that.
Is that Matthew
Because people
11?
don't even understand what that meant. Because they're looking at John, they said, that's John.
Yeah,
That's Elijah.
yeah. They were
So look at that.
yeah.
So the Lord said, what do you expect to see? You know?
Hey, like when William Wallace
Prince
came.
Williams?
When William Wallace came to speak to the people, and they said, William Wallace, this can't be William Wallace. He said, yes, I've heard it all. And I shoot fire out my ass and this, that, and all that.
That's how you knew it was.
This is Matthew 11 and 7. And as they departed, Yahweh began to say unto the multitude concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what?
Explain that.
So in other words, you thought you was gonna watch somebody that's like flim flam, like a flim flam artist?
Weak guy. You thought you want to see some weak, you know,
Just shaking in the wind.
just shaking in the wind.
Yeah.
Because he had that, his beard probably had to be down, his hair was probably all puffed out, he had a crazy afro. Either one side of the afro was up like that, or he probably had locks, because he was a Nazarite,
Con.
but he was looking real dusty,
Right.
okay?
Because all of those.
And he probably wasn't all that handsome either.
Right. Because
Because that's what Jake likes.
Yeah,
All
right,
this
right,
handsome
right.
you got.
You got that look.
You got that look.
Hey, because those wicked Pharisees and Sadducees that were leaders, they were probably all prim and
Oh, they were
proper
looking good.
and pressed.
They were looking good.
They wore soft clothing.
Go ahead, read on.
Man.
See, this is a whole different spirit. We're not going into prophetic things so much. We're going into the inner workings of the scriptures, man.
Yeah, the history tied in with the
And the
history.
history of the New Testament.
A lot of these guys, they don't go into the history. Some of you guys will find it boring. Oh, that's boring. That's part of the ministry. We got to know the history.
Because I'm getting all into it. I'm getting all into it, man.
Yeah.
We didn't know what we was going to say. We didn't know we were going to cover these topics.
Nope.
Go ahead.
It says, but what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Right. It says, behold, they.
Jake called it buttery.
Yeah,
You know, you got another jacket.
Yeah.
And I got a leather jacket up in there that's buttery, man.
Right.
And I wore it one time, I got so many comments, and I ain't wearing this motherfucker no more. It's too buttery.
Yep.
And you got the buttery leather. It might cost, you got a leather jacket that costs you $150, $200. Then you got an $800 leather coat.
Right.
Why is it $800? Because it's buttery.
Yeah, it's buttery. It's that guns and butter.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, like the wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, they were
They were
more,
buttery,
yeah, they were buttery. They were more, what's the word?
Lavish,
prim and proper.
prim and proper.
They
Yeah.
were more concerned with their outward
Right.
appearance, how they lived.
Well, the Lord told them that.
Yeah.
You,
Everything.
what is it, Matthew 23?
Brought the phylacteries,
Brought your phylacteries.
the fringes.
Yeah.
Well, you got Israelites like that now.
Yeah.
They're more concerned with their outward appearance than the gospel.
That's it.
How they look on camera and, you know, all that BS.
Go ahead, read one.
It says, they that wear soft clothing are in kings' houses
Yeah.
That's
because
it.
they're delicate.
Yeah, because the king couldn't afford it.
Right. Like,
And, the priest, Caiaphas the priest, he was looking like a king.
yeah,
You know, he was living in the palace.
palace, yeah.
You know, he
Yeah.
had servants. You know,
Yeah.
people coming to him. You know,
Money was coming to, he got the top of everything.
Oh, man.
You got one group, they say, we're kings in the building.
Yep.
Not in the time to be. Look, there's a scripture where they came to make Yahushua a king,
And he fled.
and he fled. He departed in the mountain. Why? Because it's not time to be. Right now, we're servants. We'll be kings in the kingdom. We'll have our own
Your
king.
king shall go into captivity. So
Yeah.
we're kings, all right. Kings in captivity right now.
God.
We are still in hardcore fucking captivity right
Exactly.
And then
now. We just ain't out in the field.
the clutches get, the grip is getting tighter.
What Apostle Tom said, that's the mentality we're supposed to have. The mentality of we're humble, we're in captivity.
Grunts.
Because that's a penitent mentality.
And that's why we're doing so many videos. In the last 2 days, I must have did 10 videos.
Yeah.
You know? And I did one video, then I watched your video that you did, and it made me do another video. And I just finished putting up a video.
That's all.
You know?
God.
Go ahead.
You know, I read that the part about the soft clothing.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Braveheart. You know, when his son, you know, was all delicate. I mean, he wasn't a homo. He was just all delicate. And they said, look, we have to send an embassy to speak to the English or where it was. He said, not my dear son. You know.
Who said that?
Edward
Oh,
Longshanks.
okay, the faggot.
Yeah. He
Which
said.
he wasn't no faggot.
No, he
His
was.
father would have killed him.
He
But
was.
that's how Esau, he was,
Right.
you know, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
So he was pretty much, he was like soft when it came
Delicate.
to, delicate when it came to affairs of war and to uphold the kingdom. He was all about pleasure.
That's why I think it was Marcus Aurelius said, every now and then you got to practice chastity. You're gonna live out the woods.
Oh yeah, well,
Live the rough
Marcus Aurelius was
Stoic.
a stoic.
Yeah, live the
That was
rough life.
part of the discipline, man.
Yeah.
You know?
So you don't get too comfortable. You gotta live that rough life.
So you see Jakes out there, we're gonna get back into it. They're super fucking fat, you know, big, super overweight dudes. You gotta, if you had applied discipline and a stoic lifestyle, you wouldn't be looking like that, man.
No way.
No offense to you brothers that is big, you got a problem to bring your weight down.
Right.
But Jake is, man, I saw this one Jake, I was having my woman, with my woman, and this one Jake, he had to be no more than 20 years old, and he looked like a woman. He had the dreads, but he had the, the shaved around,
Right.
but he had titties.
Right, yeah.
He had titties and he had a roll, he had that mama two shoes roll. So I'm looking, you observe things and you be like, this motherfucker, man. Who these,
Get that trainer, the trainer that came he was walking this big diesel Jake. He was walking one of his guys that he was training was in his place eating some junk food. He walked up in there and looked at him. He jumped in the air and kicked the shit out of his
that's what
hand.
like a movie?
No, it's like this one trainer. He's actual trainer.
Oh, that he actually kicked the
Yeah,
guy?
he kicked the
It's on you? Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
that's good.
He kicked the food out of his hand. He said,
Well,
"Look,
that's good. That's
you
good.
can't give me 1 hour of discipline. You just train. You can't give me 1 hour." And the guy was just eating some junk. He said, "That's what pretty much. That's why you ain't getting the results you want." If you see this guy, he's like muscle on top of him.
Because he's a stoic.
Yeah, he walked in the thing and he sort of do with the thing in his hand. He just jumped up and kicked it out of his hand. Like, God damn.
Go ahead, let's read on.
It says, but what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and more than a prophet. For this is he of whom it is written.
Now, this is the Lord speaking.
Wait a minute.
Look, read that again.
Right.
Hold up. Now, this is the Lord speaking about a guy that fell out the truth.
Yeah. This is written of him, but he fell out the truth.
Go ahead and read it.
For this is he of whom it is written. Behold, I send my messenger before thy face, which shall prepare thy way before thee. Verily I say unto thee, unto you, Salaki.
Because Captain Kandazak said his problem was he didn't follow, he should have followed Yahushua. His job wasn't to follow Yahushua. His job was to prepare the way.
That's it.
God damn it. Go ahead.
Well, look, even Legion, when the Lord took the demons off of Legion, he wanted to follow Yahushua. Yahushua said, no, just go and show yourself to the people. Because it wasn't meant for him to
Well, I
follow.
guess the Lord kicked him out the truth.
Man.
He kicked him out the truth.
Like
When you
that,
either leave the truth, fall out the truth, or get kicked out of the truth.
Yeah. What about when they were babies? When what was that? Mary?
They were cousins.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Elizabeth, John was in her womb.
Yeah, he was a special child, just like the Yahushua was a special child.
Yeah. And then
Just like when Mary came around,
Yep.
Elizabeth, Eliashaba, he leaped.
he leaped in the womb.
He felt that spirit, man.
Yeah. But he fell out.
We're dealing with spirits here, man. When Jacob and Esau was in the womb, what did they do? They had a UFC,
Yeah.
bare knuckle, they ain't had no gloves on, no referee, they were trying to kill each other, man, for real. That was like an ultra UFC, like
Bare
they
knuckle
were
fighting.
bare knuckle, they were kicking each other, they were trying to fuck each other up. Why? Because you had them two opposing spirits, man.
Yeah.
A fleshly
Oh,
cage
yeah.
match.
Yeah, that's it.
Fleshly cage match.
That's it.
You gotta.
And then even when Esau came out first, the spirit knew he's supposed to keep him like idiot, man.
Yeah.
You know? So them two babies came out feisty.
They
were very aggressive.
Very aggressive. Yeah.
Go ahead.
It says, verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there has not risen a greater than John the Baptist. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
Now, if you can tell me what that means, y'all are good. What does that mean?
He that is greater than he, notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
What is that talking about?
Well,
Come on, man.
John the Baptist, he was a man in the flesh. In the kingdom, every Israelite is gonna have spiritual power. They're gonna,
That's good.
you know.
You know what it's talking about? Read it again. Just like what it's talking about. Tell me I'm wrong.
Read the whole thing.
No, just read that part.
Okay. It says, notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
Okay, the kingdom of heaven is what? Is the children of Israel, right?
Mhm.
So, who would be considered among the least of the kingdom when you deal with the high priests, the scribes, the Pharisees, and you deal with the 12 disciples and the
Right,
80.
the high priest and them, they're gonna be last. The first shall be last, the last
So
shall
who
be
are the
first.
least? Who are the least?
Those, Caiaphas and.
No. Who's the least now? Who's the least now?
Oh,
The disciples.
the disciples,
They
right,
They
right.
were nobodies.
Right.
They were nobody. They called them unlearned.
Mm.
They beat them. Why you could call them name, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
And
yeah.
so he said, read again.
God. Notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he.
So how's it, are the apostles going to be greater than
John.
John the Baptist?
No.
Yes,
Yeah, in the kingdom.
Yeah. He shall sit on 12 thrones.
Thrones, right.
Which one of the 12 thrones is John the Baptist going to sit on?
Yeah.
He's going to sit on a throne, but he's going to be behind them.
Yeah.
Throne number 1 goes to who?
Peter.
Right. Throne number 2 goes to who?
John.
Throne number 3 goes to who?
James.
Throne number 4.
Andrew.
Thank you. You got it. So they're the least now.
Right.
These guys are fishermen. They had the hard clothes on.
Right.
They didn't have money.
They had to live an austere life.
They had to live an austere life.
Right.
You know? They lived a stoic life, not by choice.
And that's heavy because all of the men that follow Yahushua, they live austere lives.
They live austere life.
John-
How should live austere life?
Yeah, Yahushua, the disciples, and the one that prepared the way lived the austere life, John the Baptist.
That's it.
I got a precept.
That's it.
Revelation.
Like I said, if you tell me I'm wrong.
No. Revelation 21 and 13 and 14.
See, I wouldn't be living this lavish lifestyle right now. If you brothers saw that this table that I got, y'all be saying, look, all consuming out. That's a $5,000.
It's actually an ancient table.
That's what I love. That's why I
Looks
like it, man.
ancient.
That's why I like it, man.
Like at nights at the rectangular table.
Yeah. That's it. Well, you see, you got the gauntlet.
Yeah.
You know, you got the yaya, the menorah, you got
Menorah.
the liquor, the hard liquor,
The tequila.
the tequila.
He got a manly flavor to it. Now, if a woman was there, it'd be all
Uh,
little flowers and all that BS.
It was
Revelation.
like a pink.
Yeah.
Like when I wanted to buy it, I went in there 2 times. And I was looking at it and I fell on that. When I came in the second time, and the Spirit led me right to that, I said, I'm getting it, you know?
Yeah, there's a
Really,
precept.
really nice.
Revelation 21, 13 and 14. On the east, 3 gates. On the north, 3 gates. On the south, 3 gates. On the west, 3 gates. 14th verse. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb.
So,
They're gonna get the highest,
yeah,
you know.
that's why I read it, yep.
There's set thrones. Somebody give me that.
Yeah,
There's set thrones.
And then Yahushua said, you shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
And David's gonna be on the number 1 throne.
Yeah,
But that's Peter.
yeah.
Excuse me.
And to answer your question, brother, I went off. When I said David and Peter, and I said Isaac, I should have said Jacob. So you corrected me, but it was a slip of the tongue.
Yeah, there's a scripture, one slippeth
Yeah, that's it.
in the tongue, but not in the heart.
Yep.
Something like
This is Psalms
that. I mean,
1.
look, we make mistakes, man.
Yeah.
We're not saying we're above making mistakes.
I didn't consciously make that statement.
Yeah.
We make mistakes.
Sometimes you might say, you might want to say Revelation 13, you say Isaiah 13.
Yeah,
I know for some reason I get Isaiah mixed up with Psalms.
yeah, certain scriptures, yeah.
I get Colossians mixed up with Chronicles.
Yeah, so.
I said, give me Chronicles, and I meant to say Colossians.
Yeah, like that, I did a video, that scripture where it says, he's uncircumcised and stiff-necked. I just knew that was John 7:51. It's actually Acts 7:51.
Right.
That's all
But in
right.
my mind, no, it's John.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right.
You know?
Yeah, but you know, it's funny that the Spirit got us knitted, so sometimes the brother might say, like the apostle said, give me Chronicles, you know, so on and so forth, and you already know what the topic is about. I said, nah, I believe he means Colossians.
Yeah,
You know?
that's it.
Because you know it's a
Well, that's why they say 2 and 3 witnesses.
That's it.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of information coming out. We're going kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
basic
basic
it's
information, but it's deep, you know?
Yeah, it's deep.
So where we at?
This is Psalms 122 and 5. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David.
Uh-oh, the thrones of the house of David. So what is the true house of the Most High?
The house of
The
David.
house of David. So you can't have a house of David unless you have a what?
David.
A David,
David,
right?
right. How can you build the tabernacle of David without David?
That's another
you
name
know what
for the
about-
elect.
Sorry.
The tabernacle of David's another name for the elect.
Come.
That's see, some of you Israelites, you don't, I mean, Pastor Carl went into this, and the rest of us first went into it. There's two houses in Israel. There's the house of David, and there's the house of Saul. Some of you guys don't even teach
And the
that.
house of Saul can come up under the house of David.
Yeah.
You don't get crowns.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get crowns. But ultimately, you will be a part of the house of David. Because
Ultimately,
there's only going to be one kingdom.
yep.
The Heavenly Father, Yahushua, King David, the 12, the 144,000, and so forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Lord promised David and his seed the kingdom forever and ever. So everybody's going to come back in their lot.
Yeah, in the kingdom. But right now, pursuant to Amos 9:11, what house? Because like I said, now you go in, what is that? 1 Samuel, it says there was war between the house of David and the house of Saul. So right now, what house is the Heavenly Father raising up? The house of David.
Yeah.
And that's pursuant to
Which are the GMS.
yeah, that's pursuant to Amos. See, it's very important for you to know that.
Yep.
You know, that goes back to the history.
There were some bold people, man. Which is GMS. That's why they get mad.
Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Apostle, can I
Go ahead,
read this
go
whole
ahead, go
chapter?
ahead,
It's
you got
short, yeah. Psalms 122 and 1, a song of degrees of David. I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. Our feet shall stand within thy gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem is builded as a city that is compact together, whither the tribes go up, the tribes of the Lord, unto the testimony of Israel, to give thanks unto the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. For there are set thrones of judgment, the thrones of the house of David. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
What happened to the house of Saul?
The house, there's not going to be no house of Saul.
They didn't mention the house of
That's
Saul.
why the Most High took the spur from Saul.
Yeah.
But guess what? You people of the house of Saul, including Saul, you're going to be in the house of David.
That's right.
You know?
God. It says, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They shall prosper that love thee. Peace be within thy walls and prosperity within thy palaces. For my brethren and companions' sake, I will now say peace be within thee. Because of the house of the Lord our power, I will seek that good.
I got the precept add to that.
And after that, we're going to go back to what we were talking about. You had a couple of precepts.
God, Matthew 22, talking about the vineyard.
Right, you finished Matthew 11, man.
Matthew, I'll go back and see what else.
I think we finished. Well, no, you gotta go back because of reincarnation. We gotta get the reincarnation part.
God.
Yeah.
Any of you clowns out there in Israel that's teaching that reincarnation is not biblical, the Most High is clearly not dealing with you at all. Point blank period. Bottom line.
Yep, this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. But every man in his own order, Yahushua the first fruits, afterward they that are Yahushua's at his coming.
Order. So where we at?
Back in Matthew chapter 11 and 12. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violence take it by force.
So you gotta break that down because that went over a lot of people's head.
From the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence. The kingdom of heaven is the nation of Israel, and they were suffering violence underneath the Roman emperors because there was a tax that was being imposed, and that tax was so grievous.
Well, they made them a province.
Kind of
Made them
province
a province,
of Rome.
and they had to pay tribute. And tribute meant you put in the ancient kingdoms to take over another kingdom and you put them in slavery. Well, what the Romans did was different. They said, we're not going to put you in slavery.
Right.
We're just going to exact tribute from you.
Right.
You see?
And that's what, and then that's why there was so many revolts, because the taxation was so
Getting higher
heavy.
and higher, yep.
Because this is when they were devaluing the denarius, because their army was expanding more and more and more.
That's it.
You know, so they had to pay their armies, and they had people from all different nations in the Roman military.
That's why Biden's raising taxes, man,
Mm.
because of them damn wars, man.
Taxing is really oppression.
Oh, yeah, it's not ancient slavery, but it's a different form of slavery.
Right.
See, if you niggas didn't realize this, if they didn't go up there and tell you, you were still a slave,
Right.
right?
I got a quick reset.
No, I'm not a slave, I can get up and work, and I can do this, I got my own business. Well, guess what? Your business is in the name of what? Of the federal government,
Yeah.
right?
You gotta pay taxes on the business.
Yep, that's right.
You have to have a tax ID.
Collect taxes, yep.
You gotta have a tax
So,
ID.
man, you niggas need to shut the fuck up.
File taxes.
Yeah, that's it.
I
Go
got
ahead,
a
go
quick reset. Acts 5:37. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing,
Mm.
and drew away much people after him. Because this Judas, he was speaking against the taxing of the Roman government, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. Why? Because the Roman government came down. Basically, they would say, look, Judas, you ain't gonna mess up our money. We're gonna eliminate you. We're gonna get rid of you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's the point.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the Romans are the ones that set up everybody. That's why the Pharisees and Sadducees and them didn't want Yahushua doing what he was doing, because he was messing with their money.
He's messing with their money. When you mess with somebody's money, it gets personal then.
It's messy.
It
Yeah.
gets messy, it gets personal then.
Yeah.
You know, we messed with Nate's money.
Oh, that's why
He
he
was
makes
putting
it.
up videos,
Oh yeah.
you get a 10-minute video, then
Yeah.
you gotta go to the website to
Pay.
buy it. I remember he did that. Remember that nigga doing that?
Yep.
The book of Daniel 7, $10. You know? The book of Revelation, breakdown of Revelation, such and such. That's $25.
Right.
So his thing was about what?
Money.
Filthy lucre.
Yeah.
That's why you think he called us bum. A bum is not gonna call another bum a bum.
Right.
If you doing real good, money-wise, you gonna call the other guy a bum,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay?
This bum
And
ass
if you was a real brother, you would send us some of them
shekels.
our way, okay? And there's scriptures on that, brother, you know?
Hey, you know, it's funny, like, the racket that the high priest and them had, it was running so sweet, you know? It was running sweet. And Yahushua came and threw a monkey wrench in it. That's what,
They said, we gotta get this nigga out of here.
Yep.
He's fucking up our money.
yeah, because he was kicking them cats in the ass, you know, in the temple, you know, and,
They were
man.
just all the religious leaders back there, with a bunch of niggas, and them same niggas are back here today,
Yep,
getting ready to eat them this.
yep,
I got one more, if I may, on the taxes. That's part of our history, right? Luke 2:1.
there you go, you got it.
Yeah.
And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree
Mm.
from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. What world is that talking about? The world that the Romans presided over,
That's it.
that conquered. Their what they call that? Their provinces.
Yeah, empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, because anywhere that was the territory of the Romans, you had to pay tribute
They tribute.
to be in that area.
And of course, they want to expand their territory.
Yep, yep. Hey, that's why when the whole situation was going down with Pompey and what was the other one from the first triumvirate?
You had Pompey, you had Cassius,
Right,
and you had Mark Antony. I believe.
because they were rich, but what happened was they had shut Julius out. So what Julius did was to gain favor. He went and he conquered Gaul and he conquered a lot of those lands, and that gained a lot more popularity because the people liked more the leaders that were military with military experience, you know, and that's how he got more, you know, gained more notoriety, so to speak, you know.
Yep, there's
Yeah,
one
he
more.
ultimately became the emperor, and then they were looking to kill his ass anyway.
Yeah, he tried to become
They
dictator.
led by his fake friend, Brutai.
E2?
It was Brutai. It was a fake friend. He like, he was playing his ass.
Yeah. And he was like Antipater and Herod and them. They were just opportunists.
Yeah, there's a couple more verses. There's a little precept there for tax. It says, or enrolled in order so be taxed.
Mm.
Or, no, I'm sorry. Enrolled in order to be taxed.
Which that goes into what you were bringing out before, Apostle Gabar, about the calendar, the calends.
Oh, yeah, call lens, yep.
Call-
Call it, or the lens,
Which
whatever is lended, call it in.
Right, at the end of the month,
In Callan,
calendars. Yep.
it's a Callan time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we made a calendar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every month, this is Rome all over again. You
That's
gotta
it.
pay your rent first of the month.
Yep.
They give it to you a couple of days, they give it to you the 26th, 28th.
Yep.
Yep.
And you have that 10-day grace period, but it's still within the beginning of the month.
And that's called a what? A bill.
A bill.
Bill,
You
yeah.
know what it's called in Spanish? What is bill? Dispute test, or something like that. Dispute.
Right.
If you look it up,
Right.
if you go to like a check cashing place, it'll say pay your bills here. Then it'll be in Spanish and it'll say dispute.
Mm.
So it's a bill, it's a dispute until you pay it. Boom, here, you owe me this much.
Right.
If you don't pay it, it's a dispute, so you gotta go to court. So if you go ahead and pay it, the day before court, right, you go ahead and you pay it. Then the judge is happy. Oh, he settled the dispute.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Go to any check cashing place. Anywhere it says bill, and underneath it'll be in the Spanish, and the word is dispute.
I don't know if this is right. They have factura.
You know about that one?
Yeah, they have their factura, but cuenta, recibo. Recibo is like a receipt.
But don't worry about it.
Yeah, they have different,
But that's one of the words.
Right.
Okay.
Because it is a dispute.
Yeah.
So look,
Until you settle the dispute.
Right.
Settled.
well, the Shaman, he went into that whole situation about the people that would be in debt, and pretty much what it was what's the word? It was what's that word? Embarrassing, because it was out in the public eye, and if somebody that had the money would come and they would pay the debt and they would fold it over so you could no longer see the debt. Shaman had done a video like that a while ago. And that's what it was. This rich man paid your bill, and you folded over that bill. Therefore, no longer does that man owe that bill, and nobody can see that he owes that bill because the dispute was settled.
Well, like us, we owe a debt to Yahweh Shem Yahshai.
Come,
There's a dispute.
That's why the Most High don't kill you guys that came to this fold,
come.
because you reneged on his debt. You owe the Lord.
Oh yeah.
You came into this thing. You owe him, man.
There's a dispute.
Hey, Floyd Mayweather, he was under this guy, Bob Arum, the so-called Jew, for a number of years. And Floyd had to buy himself out. He bought himself out for $700,000.
Man.
Yeah, he said, that's what you do. If you have a box, he's up there, and I'm the manager or the owner of the fighter.
Yeah.
I got a contract with this guy.
Yeah.
So, if he wants to leave, I said, no, you owe me 5 more fights.
That's
Well, I
the
got a
dispute.
new promoter, right? I got a new promoter that's willing to pay what I owe you.
Right.
So you're worth $5 million. So if the new promoter says, well, here's $5 million, I said, that's yours. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
All boxers that are pros, that have managers and promoters, they're actually slaves, man. So Floyd had to buy himself out of slavery
Yeah.
under a so-called Jew named Bob Arum.
I'm pretty sure it was that way here with the gladiators.
Of course.
They made enough.
No, they were slaves.
Yeah.
You didn't grow up and say, I want to be a gladiator.
Right.
They took the slaves, okay, you look strong, you're going to be a gladiator. You're going to work out in the field. Oh, I like the way you cook, you're going to cook. But now was the gladiators able to buy their freedom?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How so?
After they served the master for a period of
After
time.
they won a certain amount of fights,
Yeah.
what did they receive?
that
They received a wooden sword.
With a wooden sword, yeah.
So when you got that wooden sword, you were a free man.
Right.
And then you had gladiators that were part of the Senate and Council.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, that's how Jake took shit over, man.
yeah.
See, y'all brothers, man, y'all don't know, man. Y'all don't know.
That's right.
Yeah, they got into the,
What about that man that said, for great sum, he told Apostle Paul, for
Yep.
great sum,
have I
I
attained my
purchased,
freedom?
my
Yeah.
Roman citizenship.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, yeah. There you go.
I got a quick.
Go ahead.
This is Romans 8 and 11. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Yahushua from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his spirit that dwelleth in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors, not to the flesh to live after the flesh.
So you can't go and do your own thing.
That's it.
So the ones of you that's doing your own thing, the Most High gonna cast you in the fire. And that's what John said. He said, you're gonna get cast in the fire. Let me read that real quick.
Can I read this
Go
one?
ahead, go ahead, you got it.
This is Hebrews chapter 10.
You can't be reading Hebrew, but that's not it.
We can't substantiate who wrote it, who wrote that.
Yeah, who wrote that?
Who wrote that?
Or the king,
That was
King
Timothy.
Alizé, King Alizé.
Hebrews 10 and 26. For if we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversaries, meaning the ones that go against the Lord. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. Of how much sore punishment, suppose ye, shall he be thought worthy, who have trodden underfoot the Son of the Most High, and hath counted the blood of the covenant, wherewith he was sanctified, an unholy thing, and have done despite unto the Spirit of
You
grace.
put them to open shame. I believe it's in the same chapters. What is that for you? 10?
Hebrews 10.
It's either Hebrews 10 or Hebrews 6.
I think that's, yep.
Hebrews 6, something might be.
Yeah, I believe that right
Let
here.
me go.
It says, for we know him that have said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith the Lord, and again the Lord shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. Yeah, because like the apostle was saying, you know, you put the Lord to an open shame. Because the Lord ain't gonna come back down here, you know, every once a year like the high priest did, you know, for the sins of Israel to bring forth forgivenesses, you know, with the blood of lambs and goats and things of that nature.
Yeah,
He did that once and that's it. When he said it is done, he meant that.
I got scripture.
You know, he meant that.
So let me give you this real quick.
Come.
I got it. Hebrews 6, verse 3. And this will we do if the Most High permit.
Mm.
You gotta get permission, man.
That's
You're
it.
taking years off, did you get permission? And if you did go to get permission, the Lord gonna say no.
Right.
You a slave, you gotta do your sentence.
Yeah.
4 verse, Hebrews 6 verse 4. But it is impossible for those who were once enlightened and have tasted of the heavenly gift. You guys that came into this fold and you went back out, you lolly-dolly about this shit. You know, lolly-dolly, we like to party. You know, we don't do nothing, we don't bother nobody.
Yeah.
You better bother the people on the highways and the byways.
Yeah.
All right?
That's it.
Anyway, it says, it says, you know, you do these pretty things, certain songs,
Come.
and we're made partakers of the Holy Spirit. You got these breakdowns, man. You got to pay up.
Yeah.
And have tasted the good word of the Most High.
Mm.
And the powers of the world will come.
That's the powers of the world to come.
If, 6th verse, if they shall fall away, what does that mean?
All on your back.
Turn their back on the cloud.
Yeah.
Go back into the world, become lukewarm, become cold,
Slothful,
slothful.
profitable servant.
If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, meaning they leave this thing for a number of years, then they receive a epiphany. Oh, I gotta get back. So 5 UFOs,
Right.
you know, angel came out, gave me a dirty look, and had a sword. I'm getting back. You can't get back, man.
Right.
You can't get back. You should have never left. And like, this guy said, Clubber Lang, he told Rocky when he came back with the second fight, he said, you should have never came back. Well, yeah, you can't come back into this thing, man. And the niggas try to get back and they can't. Why? Because you got 8 powerful demons holding your ass down and you bug out.
Right.
You know? It says, shivers. It says, and have tasted the good word of the Most High and the powers of the world to come, which is the kingdom. And that kingdom is going to be based on power.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
6th verse. If they shall fall away, to renew them again unto repentance, looking for a second chance, like Saul did, seeing they crucified to themselves the Son of the Most High afresh. Basically, they're saying, look, nigga, you got to come back down from heaven and get beat by the Romans and then hung up again so you can save me. The Lord ain't going to do, he don't give a flying fuck about you, man.
Nope.
It says, and put him to an open chain.
Mhm.
That's all I want. That's all I want to get.
I got a quick precept for you. Ephesians 4:1, it says, I therefore, this is the Apostle Paul speaking, I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye were called,
Right.
or ye are called.
Yeah. But walk worthy of the vocation where you were called. Yeah, because there's a certain job description that you have to fulfill. The truth.
Yeah, then he goes on to say, with all lowliness and meekness. That's powerful right there.
So that's how we're supposed to be in the ministry.
With all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
Yeah, it says
That's
forbearing
it.
one another in love because, you know, we all have our own individual spirit, but sometimes we get on each other's nerves.
Right.
You know, so that's forbearing.
Forbearing one another
You
in
know?
love. Yeah, because not everybody's we're not clones here,
No.
you know?
No, brother has a certain spirit, certain things that he does that he likes to do. You know, sometimes, you know, you kind of clash, but, you know, that's part of this, you know, part of it.
Well, the next verse explains it. It says, endeavoring in constantly.
Right.
When you're endeavor, that means you're constantly
Working at something.
working at something. Right. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. That's why Yahushua said to Peter asked him, how many times should I forgive my brother? 7 times 7? Yahushua said not 7 times 7, but 70 times 7. You know? Because that's going to happen.
And you know, you notice what the Apostle Paul said. He called himself a prisoner.
Right.
That's the key, what we're talking about. He called himself a prisoner of the Lord. And he said it a few times.
Yeah, a prisoner is confined to that prison.
Yep.
And he's under the orders of the warden.
Let me give you another example. 2 Timothy 1:8. Be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of the heavenly Father. And I think this is Philemon 1:1. Paul, a prisoner of Yahushua, and Timothy, our brother, unto Philemon, our dearly beloved and fellow laborer. Another one, Philemon 1:9. Yet for love's sake, I rather beseech thee, being such an one as Paul the aged, and now also a prisoner of Yahushua. So when you're in a prison, you can't just say, you know what, I'm leaving today.
You can't say what you want. They don't give you the COs don't give you a menu.
Right.
You know, you feel like having some lamb biryani and shit. You know,
Yeah,
some
some
alabindi.
yeah, some
That's right.
You know, and a large cup of lassi.
And they come to yourself, and what will you be having?
That's
What will you be
not gonna
dining?
happen. That's not gonna be happening. Whatever they cook, that's what you eat.
That's it.
What will you be dining tonight, sir?
You either cook or you starve.
Anyway, I got a precept. It's coming back to the precept that we entered earlier. Luke 3 verse 7. This is John speaking to the ones that he was baptizing. Then he said he to the multitude that came forth to be baptized of an old generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come. Who is he talking to? He's talking to the Israelites,
Yeah.
wicked Israelites.
Come.
8 verse, bring forth therefore fruit worthy of repentance, and begin not to say within yourself, ye have Abraham to our fathers. See, some Jakes is good enough knowing that they're Israelite. They can
Right.
talk all kind of shit, don't teach nobody, but they act, they'll get a high ranking position, you know? But if you're not doing the work, you're not none of his.
Right.
You're just an Israelite. They found out you was an Israelite.
Yeah.
Jake, they found out you was an Israelite. That's it.
That's it.
Good.
It says, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that the Most High is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. 9th verse. And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Every tree, therefore, which bringeth not forth fruit, good fruit, is hewn down and what? And cast into the fire. So who's the trees? We are the trees. The trees that don't yield forth good fruit, they get cast into the fire. And that fire represents that nuclear fire. So when you come into this thing, you're supposed to be on fire for this word so you don't get cast into the fire. You got it.
I got a precept for you, Apostle. Matthew fit nicely with that. Matthew 21:18. Now in the morning, as he returned into the city, he hungered. And when he saw...
That tree represents them guys that turn you back on the block.
Yeah. 19th verse. And when he saw a fig tree in the way, he came to it and found nothing thereon, but leaves only, and said unto it, let no fruit grow on thee henceforward forever. And presently the fig tree withered away.
I got one. Matthew 15:13. But he answered me and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone, they be blind leaders of the blind, and if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
I got another one. This is the book of Luke 19 and 22. It says, and he saith unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow. Wherefore, there's a point, wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required mine own with usury? And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound, and give it to him that hath 10 pounds. Basically, I went to the point, but when you read it, it's talking about the parable of the talents. Now, if you know this truth, you understand it, guess what? Right there, you have a talent. You have a talent that a lot of people don't have.
Right.
That is the understanding of this truth. And
Yeah, the Lord bestowed it on you and you were playing with it.
you were playing with it. You took it and you hid it. You didn't. In other words, you didn't go out and teach.
In other words, you playing with the supreme power of the universe. Are you out your fucking mind? You don't play games with the supreme power of the universe.
That's right.
The scriptures say he can cast you into outer darkness.
That's right. We're supposed to use our talents. So that's what I'm reading here. Especially that part where the
You're
Lord
supposed to
said,
spend it.
yeah, the Lord said, look, the Lord's attitude is when he comes, he not only want to give you not only want to get back what he gave to you, you want interest on it.
Yeah.
And what is it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the light. The
Yeah.
light came up with his shit, and he's in a world of shit right now.
He clearly said that. That's his attitude. Luke 19 and 23. Wherefore then givest not thou my money into the bank? What is the money? This knowledge, this truth. You were given, look, if you can understand it, you were given a certain sum of money.
Right.
You're supposed to take that money and turn it over.
Trade it.
Trading. What does that mean? Meaning you take the knowledge, you go out there and you teach in hopes of bringing in fruit.
Right.
That's putting the money into the bank, right?
There you go.
And it says that at my coming, when Yahushua comes back, we're all waiting for that, right? I might have required mine own with usury. That's
Interest.
interest. That's the guys the Lord used you to bring in.
Right.
And here's a song that goes with what you just read.
Yeah,
Take that to the bank.
take that to the
That's
bank.
it.
That's a bad cut too.
Yeah, that's right.
Who did that? Shalom?
Yeah, Shalom. Yep.
That's a bad cut.
Hey, to get gain, you gotta receive, the Lord wants you to receive gain.
Yeah, so the point is, if you sitting there and you understand the scriptures, you're listening and you understand, right there and then, man, the Lord gave you a talent.
Yeah.
Not everybody, look, there are many people out there that hear, but can't understand. They don't have the talent. You do.
Yeah, Lord, you open your eyes and your ears, and the Most High open your eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Gave you a great gift, and you just doing
Squandered
garbage,
it.
man.
You just squandered it.
So a lot of you know, we talking to a lot of you, man.
Yeah. Hey, the Lord made an investment.
And you,
Right.
and you fucked it up.
And when you make an investment, you expect your investment to make money.
Absolutely. That's why you make the investment.
Right.
That's what people do in the world. They say, look, I'm going to invest in this because I expect a giant return from it.
Right.
Nobody invests in anything. I don't care if I get a return. So like this.
I got a precept.
Yep.
You can finish your point. I'm just-
No. I finish it.
Okay. Luke 14, verse 16, we already know what I'm going to read. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many. And sent, 17 verse, he sent his servant at supper time to say to them that are forbidden, come, for all things are now ready. The things that's ready is the kingdom. 18 verse. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must need go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, which is 10 oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee, have me excused. And another said, 20th verse, I have married a wife,
That's the main
and
one.
therefore I cannot come. So that servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, because the Most High is angry with y'all. You guys that turn your back on the plow, you lukewarm guys, you guys that refuse to grow in this thing, you cheerleaders.
Yeah. Oh, if I may say, Apostle, you scoffers and scorners, you come on,
Yep.
on our channels, you're wasting your time arguing back and forth with us. Meanwhile, we go to your page, there's nothing there.
No content.
That's all I want to say.
Thank you. The house being angry, the Lord of the house being angry, said to the servant, go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city. So that's why we go out there on the highways and the byways.
Yep.
Paul said in season and out of season. All right? Let me see, I lost my space. Okay, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city or cities, and bring in hither the poor, the bums, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. That's us. The Lord didn't go out and get LeBron James and names of names. Wesley Snipes and
Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Will Smith.
Will Smith. All the Lord had to do is build up a camp. He had Wesley Snipes, Denzel,
Yep.
Will Smith, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Bring Michael Jackson back from the grave, give him gone with fringes on it.
Morgan
Yeah.
Freeman.
All kind of people will be coming to listen
Oh,
to
yeah,
him.
flock
He ain't listen, he ain't looking for them type of people.
Nope.
He's looking for the bums,
Yeah.
the poor.
Us.
That's
The
it.
nobodies of the so-called society.
The offscouring.
Whoever got it, got it.
I was just following what you're reading. Yeah. Scripture that comes to mind, Psalms 82, out of the mouth of babes, thou hast ordained grace. When you look up that word babes, it means insignificant. People of this society that are insignificant, like us. We're not movers and shakers of this society, but we have the greatest thing on the planet Earth. We have this truth. This is the greatest thing on the planet Earth. And speaking to you guys that are lazy, you're squandering your talent. Here, the Lord gave you the greatest thing on the planet Earth, and your attitude towards it is indifferent. This ain't real.
I got something real
Yeah,
quick.
you got it.
This is Romans 12:10. Be kindly affectioned one to another with brotherly love, and honor preferring one another. Not slothful in business.
Yeah, I was
fervent-
going to read that earlier. Not slothful in business. And what's an example of that? You know, you're dragging your feet to come and serve your How about Shenyang shop.
Shiftless.
Shiftless. You do a video when you kind of feel like it. You know, you definitely don't go out and speak. Like I said, the scoffers and the scorners, your How about Shenyang shop got a heavy judgment for you, because all you do is, first of all, you're wrong when you come and debate us. Your point is wrong. Then when we go to your page, there's nothing there. The page says this channel has no content.
No content.
That's not good, man. You think your How about Shenyang shop is happy with you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You go to your page, it clearly says this channel have no content. So how are you supposed to teach the people?
But they're the greatest experts.
But then you're an expert on our channel.
Yeah.
You fill in our comment boards with all kind of psychobabble, right?
You're an expert on how to break this down. You broke
Yeah.
this down wrong, you broke that
Well,
down
if you're
wrong.
such a
Go
goddamn...
out on the highways and
Thank you.
byways.
That's what I was going to say. If you're such a goddamn expert, take your dog and pony show out on the road. Take it out on the road. Let's see how many people listen to you. You know deep down inside nobody ain't gonna listen to you, because you know deep down inside you don't really have the spirit.
Right.
The reason why you do that shit, among many reasons, is because you're envious of the men of the Lord, Yahushua. Go ahead.
You only have a one pony show.
Yeah,
And once that trick is gone, that's it.
yeah.
You know?
James 2:5. Hearken, my beloved brother, have not the Most High chosen four crumbs of this world,
Yep.
rich in faith,
Richard Faith.
and heirs of the kingdom which he hath promised to them that love him. But ye have despised the poor. Some say there's a particular guy that's sick right now that despised the poor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do not rich men oppress you, just to be an oppressor, and draw you before the judgment seat? Do not they blaspheme that worthy name by which ye are called? If ye fulfill the royal law according to the scriptures, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. So where your neighbor, you need to start, sending us some money.
And like a good neighbor,
And then like a good neighbor,
they should be there.
they should be there.
I got the precept to add to you, Apostle, 2 Corinthians 8:9. For you know of the grace of our Lord Yahushua, that though he was rich, yet for your sakes he became poor, that ye through his poverty might be rich. His poverty meant what's the word I'm looking for? He humbled himself, right? He humbled himself and gave himself over to the ministry.
And none of you niggas is rich nowhere. Some of you guys out there that sold out, you took that back.
Took that back, man. Oh yeah, the new thing now. The new thing. Can you guys prove? I'm sorry to saw the comments.
You know who made that comment? It was Paul Kersey Poor.
Oh yeah. Can you guys prove?
Yeah, we can prove. Anybody that says take the back, you done sold out, man.
Yeah.
Anybody who say, I know that the white man's would take the backs anyway, you done sold the fuck out. I don't need to see you take that back.
Can you prove that those guys took the bag? You guys are deep.
We're accusing you of selling out, all right? That's what we're doing. We're accusing you of selling out.
Yeah, a way you can know a guy sold out is he's not diligent concerning the work.
Or he's diligent in teaching lies.
Or he's diligent in teaching lies. If you sell out, you got to spend that money. That's why you don't see Johanna as much. Because why? Because Johanna indeed did sell out, but you need time to spend that money. You need time to live that lavish lifestyle. So you're not gonna be diligent in the work. You got something, possibly?
Now, I was trying to look for something, but I can't think of the wording.
Hey, we was watching a video earlier before we came down, and it was an ISUPK video. As a matter of fact, it's the same video where they said you can have sex on the Sabbath. And here it is. They got this guy Tazariak. Now he's like the star of the show now, so to speak. They had Johanna in the back. This dude Johanna was sitting like he's a special guest or something. And they got Tazariak doing most of the talking. So man, that was embarrassing. Johanna is supposed to be the guy leading the whole thing, and he's just sitting there like he's like
Real quick precept. Precept alert, Ezekiel 34 verse 3.
Yep.
Matter of fact, I'm start at 1. I'm start at 1. And somebody, while I'm getting it, well, I do have it. Somebody can get Isaiah 50, was that Isaiah 56 and 10, is it? Somebody
Okay, I can get it.
Ezekiel 34 and 1. And the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord the Most High, unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do not feed themselves, or that do feed themselves, should not the shepherds feed the flock?
Yeah.
Ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool. You get them buttery garments. You kill them that are fed. So if we fed them and you go to, is this, man, the GMS, they went off, man. They teaching the road, you're taking the food away.
And the food they're feeding them, they are feeding them with is garbage.
Right.
It's food that's not nourishing.
GMO junk food.
Yeah. Doesn't nourish the body.
Third verse, ye eat the fat, and ye clothe you with the wool, the buttery garments. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock.
Mm.
Well, that's them scoffers. You go to their page and there's nothing on it.
I got one.
But
Ecclesiasticus 9:18. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city.
I got a quick precept. Oh, this phone? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated.
Yeah.
27 chapter and the 4th verse. As with one sifteth with a sieve, the refuse remaineth, so the filth of man is in his talk.
Yeah, like that certain group. They're feeding the flock, but they're feeding them garbage.
Gone.
They're feeding them stuff that doesn't nourish the body. Now check this out. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 6. The words of Apostle Paul to Timothy. If thou put the brethren, if thou put the, well, we have set up to reprove and rebuke, so there we go. 1 Timothy 4 and 6. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahushua, nourished up in the words of faith and of good doctrine. And of good doctrine, not the bad doctrine.
Right.
Good doctrine whereunto thou hast attained. So there's such a thing as bad doctrine and good doctrine. You can't get no nourishment from no bad doctrine, man. It doesn't
there's a lot of garbage out there.
There's a lot of garbage.
Doctrines out there.
We're supposed to speak a doctrine that nourishes up our faith.
And the soul.
Right.
Yeah, nourish. That's what we're supposed to speak. That's what we're supposed to teach.
You can call them now.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you what I want real quick. Come over here.
All right.
So that is heavy. Oh, let me just keep reading. I actually went to the.
Okay.
Yep, 1 Timothy 4 and 6 again. I'll read again. If thou put the brethren in remembrance of these things, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahushua. And you got a lot of bad ministers of Yahushua out there. Simply put, nourished up in the words of faith. When you're teaching that you can have sex on the Sabbath, that is not nourishment.
not good.
It's not good.
Yeah, because it says, keep the Sabbath holy, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. And then, when King David and them, you know, when they wanted to eat the shewbread, the priest asked them, had the men kept themselves from the women?
Right.
And King David said, the men have been away from women for these 3 days, the young men's vessels are holy.
Yeah, the same thing like you read that and I read earlier, where the children of Israel wanted to speak to the Heavenly Father. And Moses gave them the commandment. Moses told them, look, do not come at your wives for about 3 days.
Right.
Be ready, and on the fourth day, the Heavenly Father will come down and speak to you. And then the Heavenly Father came down and spoke to them, and they were like, no, Moses, we want you to speak with us, at least we die. Because they saw they heard the thunder, they saw the lightning, you know, they said, no, we don't want the Most High to speak.
Speak with you, Moses.
If I know what he wants,
Yeah,
you
come.
can call. I'm gonna read this precept right here.
Okay, yeah, give me the same thing.
Okay,
All right, that's.
you want all three?
Whatever you want.
All right, so I'm gonna read, Mike. Oh, yeah, sure. Micah, go ahead, finish your point.
Oh, no,
Finish
I'll
your
just
point.
read the latter part of the verse. It says, thou shalt be a good minister of Yahushua, nourished up in the words of faith, and of, there it is, the key word, faith. A lot of guys don't have faith. And of good doctrine, whereunto thou hast attained. Now here's one more verse. But refuse profane and all-wise fables, and exercise thyself rather unto righteousness. So that was a commandment that Apostle Paul gave Timothy, and guess what? It still stands to this very day. That's all that is.
Okay, I got a precept.
Yeah.
Micah 3 verse 1. And I said here, I pray you, O heads of Jacob, meaning leaders of Jacob, and ye princes of the house of Israel, is it not for you to know judgment? Second verse. Who hate the good and love the evil, who pluck off their skin, the Israel skin, from off them, and their flesh from off their bones, because the prophecy that Ezekiel had is of the dry bones in the valley coming back together, bone upon its bone, sinew upon sinew, and flesh coming upon you and being clothed and putting breath in you. So when you teach something contrary to the true gospel, what you're doing, you're peeling the flesh off
Well,
them.
in the flesh, yeah. Yeah, because as Apostle, when you teach something like you don't have to keep the Sabbath holy, that's basically what you say. You can have sex on the Sabbath. That's an example of pulling the flesh, because part of our laws is to keep the Sabbath day holy.
You're waxing worse and worse.
It clearly says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. What does it mean, keep it holy? Do not have sex with your wives. That's what that means. If you guys didn't know, that's what that means. Do not have sex with your wife on that day. That's how you keep the Sabbath day holy. It's a day of meditation and prayer,
Right.
and thanksgiving to Yahweh Shai and all of that. And you mean to tell me you can't give the Lord one day? You can't refrain from your pleasure for one day?
Well, that's what the Lord said. It said it in Isaiah 58. You know, if you would keep that foot from, from the Sabbath,
From doing that own
pleasures.
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, eating is a pleasure, drinking is a pleasure. Yeah, but those pleasures don't defile you.
Right.
Unless you actually, or
Cooking.
don't make you unclean, unless you eat the cooking or you
Yeah.
eat abominations.
Yeah.
You know what? Come on.
It's like every time it comes to dealing with the scriptures of Yahweh Shemel Shai, every clown out there got an excuse, a so-called way out.
But you know what? That's okay, because our job, that's our job, is to, how's it go? To reprove and rebuke.
Yeah, is that Timothy?
That's our job. So you know what? We're gonna keep doing our job till the Yahushua comes.
Yeah. Hey, well, Yahweh Shai said it best. It is impossible, but that offenses must come.
Exactly.
But woe unto that man by whom the offense cometh. It would be better for him that he be hanged by his neck by a millstone and drowned in the deepest part of the sea.
As a matter of fact, brothers, that's another commandment Apostle Paul gave Timothy. He gave Timothy a lot of commandments. This is 2 Timothy 4:1-2. I charge thee. Charge means to warn, and not just warn, but severely warn someone.
I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and the Lord Yahweh Shai, who shall judge. Who's Paul speaking to? Timothy.
Yeah, because if I may, Apostle,
You got it.
you know how the scriptures say that if you kill somebody, you have to die. If you have two homosexuals, their blood will be upon them.
Yeah.
When you're charging somebody, we're responsible for what we know, for the message that we know. So we have to tell the people.
Yep.
And then their blood is off our hands. So that charge is off our hands and it goes on them.
That's right. That's
You know?
right.
So when you're teaching them a lie, that's gonna cause them to die.
That's it.
And that's gonna cause you to die.
That's right.
James, go ahead.
I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. We're waiting for that, right? Now he said this, preach the word, be instant in season, out of season.
Yeah.
Then he goes on to say, reprove and rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Wait a minute, long suffering. So we got to suffer all the madness that's being taught out there and reprove and rebuke it. That's what he said.
With the defenders of the gospel, the true apologia.
Right.
You finished?
Oh yeah.
James 5:5.
Uh-oh.
And that, we can apply this to Esau. That ain't just Esau, that's what you sons too.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna read the King James Version, I'm gonna read a couple other versions, right? It says, King James Version, James 5:5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Wanton means undisciplined, man. Like you said, you can't give one day to the Most High
That's it.
because you have no discipline.
It's a shame.
Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Now, what does that mean? It means you're going to eat good. In the ancient world, the king's sitting back. You got the chefs and butchers, and what they're doing is you hear in the background, the goat gets, his head chopped off.
Right.
Then you got the butcher that chops the meat up.
Right.
And then you got the guy that cooks it with the spices.
Yes.
And then the king is sitting there fed like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
With his buttery suit on.
Yep.
And he gets, that's what slaughter, because real meat is when you kill it.
Right.
Like if you want to have a goat today,
Yep.
you got to kill it. You got to have it in the morning, and that's the goat that we're going to be eating tonight.
That's right.
And they chop them up. They'll put them in the freezer and freeze them for 2 months,
You gotta skin them.
Skin
Styrofoam
them. That's
packages.
it.
Yeah, styrofoam packages.
See, we didn't have refrigerators back in the ancient world.
Right.
And we ain't going to have no refrigerators in the kingdom either.
We don't need them.
Because when we eat, that's it.
Eat right there and then.
Cut out the curtains.
That's it. Now, this is the new King James Version. Sometimes it's good to read these other versions. Sometimes it goes over people. You have lived on the earth in pleasure and luxury. I like to live in luxury.
Buttery lifestyle.
You have, and the guy back on Rock Street says, you don't have to live in luxuries, but I must live in luxuries myself. So he was in Edomite, there were Edomites, some stupid ass Edomites following some goddamn coolie. What the fuck you following the coolie for, man? It says, you have fattened your hearts as in the day of slaughter, right? Let me try one more.
Oh, well, that's some Edomites, like Pastor said, what the hell you following the coolie from. Your whole system, Esau, is based upon other kingdoms that you follow. Let's begin with what? The Babylonian kingdom? You followed that kingdom to the T, man. That's why you're also known as the daughter, in the scriptures, you're known as the daughter of Babylon. Why? Because you totally embraced the Babylonian kingdom.
That's it.
And their philosophy.
That's it.
Yep.
This is a barren study Bible. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence.
Self-indulgence.
You had everything, like Bishai used to say, you had to get the best.
Yes. Yep.
And that's why he fell off.
He
He was seeking for the best.
And the
You
best
had
is
to get the best.
this is the best. This truth. This ministry.
They don't know that. Somebody
This
got to
gospel.
go and tell them. You have fed your hearts in the day of slaughter.
Yeah, I got some real quick.
Oh, I got one more, brother. You just tell me about these other versions. What is this? Dory, Rain's Bible. You have feasted upon earth, and in riotousness You have nourished your heart. He did a lot of partying. He went out clubbing. Look what Polite is doing. He's living the life. He's living that luxurious life, man.
Buttery.
Women, wine, and song, and food. Where am I at? Your hearts in the day of slaughter. You have lived delicately on the earth and taken your pleasure.
And you living delicately, you living good.
Buttery.
And the ones that's going to get burnt, tapped with that, touch with that fire in Revelation 18 are the ones that are living luxuriously.
Yep.
All right? And then he didn't say Esau. He said Esau, Jacob, anybody that's down there, you know, on that altar.
Yep.
Because America is an altar and it's getting ready to get set on fire.
Absolutely. For the
You know?
sacrifice.
And that's all I got to say.
Can I read this real quick?
You got it.
Go ahead.
This is from the Urban Dictionary. Buttery. When something is considered awesome or cool, or a combination of those words with the same meaning, beyond belief, and must be expressed with words. So beyond belief, you know, when you see somebody like jaw dropping, like when the Apostle John saw, you know, the woman arrayed in the vision, he said he looked at
She
it
was
with that.
buttery. She
Yeah.
was buttery, right?
Yeah, she was buttery.
And one demon, she had the dog, and this semi-night chick walked past with her dog. So, you know, they had a little conversation. I was in the truck. So my demon said, oh, you gotta look at her dog. So the semi-night chick had a short mini skirt on, but you can see her legs, and you can see and you can see that,
Right.
and you can damn see everything but the nipple.
Right.
So my demon was telling me to look at the dog, and I'm looking dead at her nipples, man.
Right.
And then she picked up on it, you know?
Right.
And then she went like this. You know, she picked up on it. And I even told her, I said, you know, I couldn't even see the dog. I saw her titties, you know?
Right.
And I'm looking at her, I'm saying, wait a minute, why would you come out the house like that? And then you get all offended because the man's looking at you.
Right. You got it right there.
Not that I was, you know, Day of Atonement, not that I was
Luscious.
lusting after her. You know, I was not aroused, but I noticed if a woman walked down the street butt ass naked, you're going to look.
Of course.
You're going to look.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what day it is. You're going to look,
Yeah, absolutely.
you know?
Why?
these-
Why?
But she took it like I was lusting after. I was looking at you. I said, what you gonna do with the titties? You know?
It'd be a problem if a man didn't look.
Right.
You have to look.
Yeah, but these women are stupid. They go out wanting to look, want the men to look at them, and then when you look at them, they get all, oh, the women that wear the mini skirts. They put the mini skirt on all day, they pull it down.
Keep pulling it
Well,
down.
bitch, wear a long fucking dress.
Right.
So you don't gotta pull nothing down. You know?
Dumb bitch.
I got it.
Dumb with the capital D.
Luke 21, to back up what you read, Pastor, Luke 21:34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life. And
Yeah, going out on the boat. You took that bag. So you gotta get a boat, you gotta get a yacht.
live it out.
Depending on the bag that you gotta get a yacht.
Yeah.
Hey, my man that's in the spirit world, Tyler Doctor, he was boasting, he was showing off what he made, man.
Right.
He had a goddamn bus, a luxury bus, with him on the damn outside the bus.
You probably had a boat. Maybe.
I'm surprised if he didn't have a boat.
Maybe.
He didn't get paid off like that. But he had them cars, he had them whips. He was buttery. He was about that hip hop shit, the rap thing, which is a part of riotousness,
Yeah.
you know, in the spirit of Bacchus,
I was just gonna say.
You know?
Bacchus, yeah.
chambering.
Chamberlain, yeah.
Yeah, we had the white woman on one side, wiping his
his
brow,
brow.
and then who was it? Jake or Eve?
Jake woman.
Yeah,
Jake on the other side.
She looked like she was bugged out.
And then he was doing some Hamitic shuffle.
And he was popping bottles,
popping bottles, yeah.
you know,
Song was.
committing adultery.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, he was trying to send comfort. See, that's why Happy Sorry, Happy Shore, they're in the position that they're in. The Most High got them and cast them out of darkness.
Yeah.
They're in out of darkness, man. And until the Most High have mercy upon them, they'll never be cast out of darkness until they die and come into the kingdom. It was their responsibility to check that nigga.
Absolutely.
That's a video.
Check that thing. Yeah, and take heed, this is Yahushua, these words were written and read, Yahushua said this. And take heed to yourselves, and this is the part of examining ourselves. like Apostle Paul said, examine yourself whether you be in the faith. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged. Your hearts is your mind, be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life. And so that day, what day? The day that our
What precept is that?
that is Luke 21:34. It says, and so that day, what day? The day of when our Lord returns. Now remember, in 1 Thessalonians, it says, that day shall not overtake us as a thief.
Right.
Because we are the children of what? We're the
Light.
children of light. We're constantly watching, right? But those that are, their minds are more into surfeiting and
You said Luke what?
Luke 21:34.
Okay, 34. I'm sorry, 24.
Yeah, their minds are more into surfeiting and drunkenness. And you can look up the word surfeiting. And I believe it means partying, chambering, drunkenness, and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. 35 verse, or 35th verse. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Then it goes on to say, watch ye therefore and pray always, which is what we're constantly doing, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. That's
Okay, the word there for, what is it, surfeiting?
Yeah.
Did you hear it?
Strong's G, 2897, Apollo.
Parlay.
Ayers lexicon, related entry, Apollo.
Which means the giddiness and headache caused by drinking wine to excess.
Partying.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like they got a saying in the world, you got to party like an animal.
Party animal.
Party animal. Oh man, well, to add to that, what does it say in Ecclesiastes 5? Let me read that. Ecclesiastes 5, and I'm sorry, not Ecclesiastes 5, Ecclesiastes 7 and 2. It is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Meaning the living are those that know the truth. They'll ponder on that. They'll say, you know what? I've been partying too much, or I shouldn't be partying. You know,
When you hit a certain age, you don't go out. You don't do what you do when you're young.
well, that's true.
No.
And then the next verse says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart, meaning the mind, is made better. In the next verse, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, the house of joy.
I got a precept now. After that, we can close. You got one?
I got one real quick.
Bring that one.
Romans 13:13. Let us walk honestly as in
Come here, brother. Come here. Come here, brother. Look at that. Come here.
Oh, snap. Oh, you know what? You can read, because you're going to read from the 11th.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
Con.
Yeah, well, we were supposed to be one body.
Con.
In your house shot.
That's
In
it.
the house,
That's right.
Absolutely.
The true one body in your house
That's right.
shot.
Not in the old body.
Carnival Parker.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time that now is the high time that we got to speak. But now is our salvation, when we believe. 12 verse in 9. As far as spending days at hand, let us therefore cast off the works of darkness, and let us put on the armor of light. Meaning, get into this truth, this word, go out on the highways and byways, do the sit downs, so forth and so on, right?
Yeah.
It says, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envy, but put ye on the Lord Yahushua and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof.
Yeah, because that rioting and chambering, that's heavy. that goes into like clubbing, going out to them clubs.
Yep.
You know, because that's what they were doing in the ancient world. They go to the clubs, men, women, they have orgies after they get drunk, you know?
Yeah, in
All
Rome,
kind
they
of
had something
wickedness.
called the vomitarium. They would eat so much food, man. They would,
Because it was about lust.
G 2045. Torture.
That's for, I believe, chambering.
chamber.
A place for lying down, resting, sleeping in a bed, couch, the marriage bed of adultery.
Right.
Because that's what goes on with these bitches in the club.
Oh, yeah.
They go out behind their men, and when you ask them, you got a man, they say no.
No,
I know that for a fact.
yeah.
It happened to me. All right. And you look, you sure? You
Yeah.
know,
Right,
and then
right,
you get
right.
the number, then you ain't gonna tell the spirit on me, you know.
That's why it's a good idea, brothers, not to go to those clubs.
Well, we got an order.
Because the women in the clubs, they're not good
They're
whores.
women.
Chambering, bed chambers.
In the chamber.
Wow.
Chambering, meaning,
Cohabitation,
yeah.
whether lawful or unlawful sexual intercourse.
Right.
Yeah.
And that goes on, and back in the Roman Empire, you had the orgies, which was men on men, women on women, men with women, married women, you know, all kind of.
Notice it says whether lawful or unlawful. So even in that,
Right.
brothers, you know, we gotta watch, if you do have a woman, you gotta watch how much time you spend with her. This is our woman, this knowledge is true, that's your real woman right there.
Wantonness.
Strong's G 766. That's Elgar.
That's Elgar. I see why he says it 2 times. But the
Yeah.
first time you can't get it, you listen to it the second time, then you can get it.
God.
It says that's unbridled lust,
Damn. Unbridled.
excess, lasciviousness, licentiousness, lasciviousness, wantonness, outrageousness, shamelessness, insolence. And our women, they're out of order. They're completely out of order. And the majority of them is going to die.
Yeah.
They're insolent.
That's right.
Apostle, can you look up the writing one?
The writing,
Yeah,
that means I got to go back. What was that?
Oh, I mean, I got it right here.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is,
Then we're going to close.
Romans 11, the word for writing is komos. It says a revel, carousal, a nocturnal and riotous procession of half-drunken and frolicsome fellows who after supper parade through the streets with torches and music in honor of Bacchus or some other deity, and sing and play before houses of male and female friends, hence used generally of feasts and drinking parties that are protracted till late at night and indulge in revelry.
You know, they
Then
still.
you got an after party.
Yep.
Nigga be out there till 4 in the morning. What are you doing? Let's go to the after party. You staggering into the after party.
They're still doing it now, down the islands, they call it Bacchanal.
That's right. Well, Brazil,
Yeah.
Mardi Gras, that all goes back. That shows that they're Israel, man.
Yeah.
They brought that shit from the ancient world up until the present.
Yeah, I remember you told us about a movie a long time ago, Black
The
Orpheus.
Black Offering. They were
And in the movie, they were doing that Bacchanal stuff.
Yep. It was all centered around, it's loosely translated, or loosely based upon Orpheus.
Okay.
Greek,
Okay.
with, what's her name, that's on the top of the Capitol building? Persephone.
Persephone.
That was a beautiful woman. They had to play to get her back. So they
Right.
redid it, you know? The spirits and flipped it around. Anyway, that's it.
Yeah, so we're at the end of the Day of Atonement, at least us, you brothers on the West Coast, you still got, 3 or 4 hours to go. So hopefully you brothers were edified by this lesson, and we'll see you in the next one. Shalom.
Shalom
To the Lord's elect.
to the Lord's elect.